And the previous Attorney General, Madam Godfred, recommended termination of the agreement in 2018 on account of the PPA committee report. So her decision was informed purely by the PPA review report and also an examination of other circumstances surrounding the agreement, i.e. failure to attain conditions precedent and what have you. And unfortunately, that determination was adjudged to be wrong by the Permanent Court of Arbitration, which we were subjected to. In any case, the fundamental point is that the termination was necessary. Secondly, relatively, the state was saved more losses.
Okay. So with the decision by the Court of Arbitration in London, what happens next? We've heard you talk about taking this up to the CID for investigations. Right. What is it that you want from this? I think
if you're a public officer, you're acting in accordance with the tenets of reasonableness, diligence, and sound policy. You ought not to take any decision which will expose the state unnecessarily to financial loss. That is why there's a provision in the Criminal Offences Act for causing financial. It said willfully causing financial loss. And willfully causing financial loss is occasioned where a person takes a decision either recklessly, negligently, or deliberately with the intention that the state will ultimately lose. So the question must be asked as to why a public officer vested with discretion and vested with the nation's resources will enter into multiple PPA agreements which would occasion excess supply. Supply when the state was not in need of the power, and also at cost that was adjudged by the PPA committee to be excessive. There must be an inquiry into these matters to ascertain whether the acts of the public officers were deliberate, reckless, or just negligent. And if that is the case, then of course the penal implications will follow.
So then what you are pursuing now will be criminal?
Essentially, yes, because the CID deals with criminal proceedings.
Okay.
It's just an investigation which will form the basis for possible charges against public officers culpable in the whole transaction. So the position must be expressed that clearly this administration and myself in particular, I'm against judgment debt, and that I will pursue any public officer. It's just on account of the same principle that I'm referring the conduct of the public officers in question to the CID. I think that whenever any public officer, by his actions, occasion undue financial loss to the state, that public officer must be investigated.
Because I was going to ask